Welcome to another episode of Last Orders. The pullback has finally happened. We've been talking on this channel for the last week or so about taking some profits, and this is exactly why. So let's get into the charts. BTC, as you can see, doesn't look very good on the weekly time frame after yesterday, looking like a bit of a rollover on the weekly time frame and a deviation of this 22.8k weekly level. Obviously, Friday today, we've only got a couple of days left. It does not look like we're going to hold this level on the weekly time frame. It reminds me of what happened back here in April of last year, where this level up at 46k weekly level, everyone was quite euphoric that we were going to continue this bear market rally, potentially continue the bull market, etc. We got a weekly close above all these wicks, above this weekly level, held it as support for a week, and then, as I say, everyone thought we were going to continue upwards, and then bang, as you can see, pretty drastic drop. Something similar could be happening here. The sentiment was very similar over the last week or two about getting over here and then at least making a run to 25k plus. Obviously, that doesn't look like it's happening, not for in the short term at least. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't expect a repeat of 11 weeks of downside. However, what we could see is a return back to these range lows at around sort of 18, 19k. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. It was just one leg down for now. But let's see what happens if we go down to the daily time frame. Obviously, we topped out at this daily level around 23.8k, likely heading towards this daily level of consolidation here now, around sort of 20 to 21k, sort of 20 and a half, 21k, in and around there. Let's make that a little bit neater. So yeah, that's probably where we're heading to next. In terms of the monthly time frame, this is probably the most important level to watch. So very bullish signal closing above 21.5k. It was obviously the start of this leg down in the 1st of November, FTX scandal, etc. So strong bullish candle, close above resistance. Now, if we get a close back below this level, I think that is sort of lights out, game over in terms of we're probably heading back to retest these lows, because it would be a big fake out deviation, and I think this is the end of the bullish case. However, again, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We've still got a good 3 or so weeks, about 18 days left to go before this candle closes. So yeah, we'll just have to take it day by day, week by week. But at the moment, looking like a pretty good dip. We'll see what happens when and if we get down to this sort of consolidation range here. If we take a look at ETH, that is just still stuck in its range, bouncing between about 1656 and 1516. So nothing much going on there. However, ETH BTC, something to keep an eye on. It is looking like it's making a higher low here. So we made a higher high, break out this structure on the daily time frame, closed above this daily level here, come back down, test it as support. If it can hold and rally higher, then obviously that's going to be pretty good for alts. So maybe BTC takes a breather here, goes sideways for a bit, maybe sort of down and sideways, and alts go for a run. Some alts have outperformed Bitcoin at the moment. So, for example, VeChain and Matic are looking quite strong if you go and have a look at those over the last couple of days. So certainly something to keep an eye on. But a quick brief of ETH BTC if you've not seen this chart before. Clear monthly range. If you go down to the weekly, this weekly level is actually the mid-range of the monthly range. Quickly show you that there, as you can see. So important level to hold. It's held it so far on the weekly, and as I say, on the daily, starting to break the bearish structure and climb upwards. However, this level is crucial to hold, this 0.07 level. So keep an eye on that. S&P, we've been talking about this weekly level for the last couple of weeks. 4175 rejected both last week and this week, looking quite bearish. On the daily, we've now lost 4110 as support, so could break down further. I think we can get rid of that weekly trend line now. So that's obviously what brought down crypto as well as the news about Kraken not allowing, or the US basically coming after staking and trying to not allow US citizens to take part in staking. So that was some pretty big news. But it wasn't just that the market down. Obviously, the S&P, the Bitcoin is very closely correlated to the S&P, so that will have been what affected it. Also, can't ignore that the dollar is obviously bouncing off that higher time frame weekly support, which we've also talked about the last couple of weeks, and also stables dominance as well, bouncing off that weekly level again that we've highlighted over the last 2 weeks. So in terms of alts to watch, so we mentioned these on Monday about taking profits at these areas because we are at higher time frame resistance and they have all rejected. And this is why we say, take some profits. You don't have to sell the whole bag, but just take some profits so that if it goes lower, you can rebuy back more for your money. So Avax at this weekly resistance here, about $20 to $21. Nice little rejection. ADA, again, nice little rejection off this weekly level that we talked about. BNB, weekly rejection off the range high that we highlighted the last couple of weeks. DOT, monthly resistance that we talked about again on Monday. Nice little rejection. So a nice little rebuy here at about $5.50, 60 could be quite nice. If you just take a quick look at that, that's a nice 20% gain, not bad at all. And GLMR, something we talked about last week, didn't mention it on Monday because we'd already talked about it. In fact, I thought the move had already played out. So clear weekly range. I thought the move had already played out. We'd hit range highs. We were going to come back down to the mid range. We had another little spike up, quite a brutal one actually, if you were trying to trade it. But in terms of just sort of spot selling, then happy days. Nice little profit taking area there, and could rebuy back at the mid range. So again, if we just take about an average, you're looking close to 20% again gain. So yeah, not too bad. This is why we say, you got to take those profits. Don't just hold thinking something's going up forever. Have a percentage of your bag that you're quite happy to swing trade. You don't have to sell the whole bag, but yeah, always worth taking some profits so you can capitalize when things come back down. Obviously, nothing moves in a straight line. So yeah, hope you were prepared for this little dip. We'll see if it turns into a bigger dip as time goes on. As I say, the important things to watch. The monthly close above 21.5k, pretty important. Weekly, I think we've lost this level now, so it really is all sort of dependent on the monthly time frame. And then daily, if we get down to this consolidation box, this daily level here is pretty much what is gonna try and save the monthly level. If we break below this box here at sort of 21k. Then that could be the signal that we're going to lose the monthly level. So something to keep an eye on. Going into next week, we've obviously got the CPI data coming out on Tuesday. That will obviously be a huge have a huge impact on the markets. I think that's probably what the sell-off here is on the traditional markets and obviously crypto as well. Hedging ready for going into the weekend, hedged ready for CPI. So be interesting to see what happens. So we'll go into more details on that on Monday market. So have a good weekend, and I will see you then.